Hi, I'm Gray, and I love art. And Terraria. And I'm bored. So today, I'm gonna be illustrating Terraria's 3 Mech bosses, cause why not? If you don't know what Terraria is a 2D sandbox game that features exploration, crafting, building, painting, and combat with a variety of features in a procedurally generated 2D world. Of course, this includes bosses. I'll be arranging these artworks from the easy and least time spent to the longest and most hardest art process. Stick around to the end to see the final results. The twins are a hard-mode mechanical boss and are essentially a more difficult version of the IFP tool. The twins are two separate flying entities, Protonizer and Spasmodism, connected by a tendril. It shows an attack pattern and life count. Both must be killed in order to defeat the boss. To begin the art, I just drew two big and small balls to start the shape and proceeded to fill them with your midtone first before proceeding to shading. For shading, I started with a less darker shade and continued adding more shade as I go down to the darker parts of their body. After the shading, I then proceeded to the weaponry part, with Protonizer having a laser gem-like gun and Spasmodism with its open mouth and sharp teeth. Keep in mind that this is their phase 2. I then added more depth to add a realistic piece to shadowing. After adding the weaponry parts, I proceeded to detailing them. I made Protonizer laser gem red to match a pixelated version, then adding light reflections. Took me a while here, but in the end it looked good. After Protonizer, I then proceeded to Spasmodism's Cursed Inferno Bright. I made it glow to make it really look like a fiery object glowing from inside. After this, I added the veins. Arranged its darkness to match the shades here. I also added some for Protonizer. We're almost there. I almost forgot some details on their body, with Spasmodism having screws and Protonizer with the holder or stand thing for his laser gun. After this, I added more glows and jump shadows, and voila, the twins are done. The Destroyer is a hard-mode mechanical boss, which is essentially a more difficult version of the Eater of Worlds. Like the Eater of Worlds, it is a very large worm. The Destroyer takes increased damage from attacks that damage multiple segments at once. To begin the art, I drew his positions and curvatures first with his midtone, then proceeding to shading. I then separated the Destroyer segments by outlining it with a dark color first before outlining more of his details. For the mouth, I took an inspiration of Sans Blasters from Undertale, just to make it look intimidating and interesting. After outlining the Destroyer's details, I then added more shadows for depth to add a realistic piece of the art. And now it's detailing montage. There's nothing much to say here, so I'll let the soundtracks take the audio. Making sure it's metallic and mechanized enough, I proceeded to add the panel-like things on the Destroyer's sides. For the red lights thing on his body, I did the design I used for Protonizer's laser gun from the previous art, just to match all the mechanical boss designs. Now we're almost done. I'm now adding glows and shadows with the pleasing details and of course, the probes. How can I forget? And now, here is your Destroyer. Skeletron Prime is a hard-mode mechanical boss, which is essentially a more difficult version of Skeletron. It consists of a head and 4 limbs, but similarly to Skeletron, only the head needs to be defeated to defeat the boss. I started the art by outlining the shape of Skeletron Prime's skull with a dark gray color as layout, then coloring it, making sure that the shade is accurate. After this, I then added the teeth. I made sure that the shadows are accurate from his light source. After detailing the teeth, I then moved into adding more details. I made sure not to forget Prime's screws screwed on its skull. Now that the skull is done, I then moved into Prime's visor. Not looking to my reference, I thought it should be Prime's cannon. I fixed it, so my bad. Now let's move on to Prime's cannon. There's nothing much to say here, so I let the soundtrack take the audio again. After the Prime's cannon, we'll now proceed to the Prime's saw. Like the cannon, I first detailed the bones. For the saw, I did the design different here to make it unique and threatening, changing it from a chainsaw to a saw blade. Now let's move on to the last layer, Prime's laser. I started by coloring and detailing the bones first like I did with the others. For design, I changed the things that holds the laser's number from 2 to 4 just to add some menacing look as usual. Then, I used the same design from Mechdusa's laser gun for here, again to match the mechanical trio vibe. And we're almost done. I then added Prime's eye and some glows and some little bit of this and that in the background. And I present to you Skeleton Prime. Now, here's the mechanical trio done. Let me know what you think in the comments.